Out of all my videos, this is going to be one of the more controversial ones depending on how you look at it. In fact, it was precisely because of this perspective that helped me look at things a lot differently that got me to where I am today. Now, I am no expert. I am just a regular guy that's going through life just like you and happened to experience something that worked for me that I would like to share and hopefully provide some sort of value to you. A couple of years ago when I first entered university, I remember attending a bunch of orientation camps to make friends and meet more people. It was said that your university experience is not complete if you do not attend any of these. And so I decided to attend all of them. Just for some context, I've always been an introvert where I spend most of my time studying and doing my own thing. So my experience in social settings isn't that extensive. I've not went on any dates before. I've not went to clubs. I don't drink. I'm basically that innocent guy that barely experienced much of the world. However, attending these orientation camps opened my eyes quite a bit to what's out there in a social setting. Post-orientation camp, I went to clubs, drink, and hang out almost every day with my newfound friends. It felt great experiencing all these unexpected fun, knowing that we are all in university to study for a degree for our future. However, due to my many years of studying hard for my exams, I still have the habit to work hard and strive for good grades. Fast forward to the end of my first semester, I achieved a pretty good GPA that I was happy with. Well, I've always gotten good grades ever since secondary school, so it didn't come much as a surprise for me, and that was pretty much the start of everything going downhill. In my second semester, I was very complacent in my studies. In my mind, I was thinking, you know what, if I'm able to get away with this amount of studying, having fun with my friends, and still manage to get good grades, why not just have more fun? Anyways, even if my GPA were to drop just a little, it wouldn't affect my overall GPA since my first semester was so good. And with that mentality, I spent more time playing computer games, hanging out with friends, going out on dates, and studying only when I feel like it. As time goes by, I started to have this fuck it mentality and was like, it's okay if I don't do well in my studies as long as I'm having fun. This mentality was a huge deal because you have to understand this. I've always been that good kid that studies and always goes by the book. I'm always studying hard, wanting to have a bright future so that I can open more doors and provide more for my loved ones. From that, I suddenly switched and became this degenerate guy that's okay with fucking my life up and just focusing on having fun. While I was having all that fun, I kept thinking that it's all worth it. You only live once, so why not make the best out of it? I was happy until I received my exam results for that semester. I still remember that very moment when I received the news. It was during the end of my semester holiday and I was working at my part-time job packing packages for online deliveries. During my work break at 10 AM, I went to the school portal and checked my results on my phone, and there it was. My GPA was literally half of what I achieved in my first semester. No matter how much I tried to pull myself together, I couldn't. My work buddies tried to console me, but I couldn't help but feel extremely depressed and eventually broke down in tears while I was on the way back home on the bus. I don't cry all that often, and the last time I cried from that point was literally several years back. In those moments of fun and joy that I was experiencing playing computer games, watching tons of animes, hanging out with my friends way too often, drinking and all, it feels like nothing matters other than what I'm feeling at that point. I thought I was okay in screwing up a little in my life because of how much fun I was having. But when it really happened, I felt nothing but regret and anger towards myself for allowing myself to reach this point. I thought I was okay to screw things up a little, but clearly those tears were saying otherwise. It's really all about instant gratification. I only cared about the short-term happiness that I was experiencing and ignored what's to come in the future. All those fun times will come to pass, and what will come to replace it is your encroaching future. I'm not saying that you should eliminate every single fun that you can have, stop playing video games, or stop hanging out with your friends. You can still have fun, but not to the extent where you thought you're ready to throw everything away for that short enjoyment. Just do it in moderation and never forget what your main focus is. If your main focus is to graduate with a 4 out of 5 GPA, skipping classes every day to go drinking and clubbing with your friends is basically you begging to have your life fucked up. But here comes the controversial part. If you have already, and here's the keyword again, already had your life turned upside down due to whatever mistakes that you have made in the past, and you're intent on turning over a new leaf right now, then here's what I have to say to you. It's a good thing that it happened. Look at it this way. Imagine all your life, you have never even went near a boiling kettle. You know that you shouldn't touch it, but you had no idea what would actually happen because you have never seen anyone accidentally touching it, and you had no idea what it feels like to touch it. One fine day, you came back from a run, thirsting to chuck down a jug of water. You saw a cup of boiling water on the table table and proceeded to grab it and literally chug it down. Next thing you know, you're in the hospital. This is an exaggerated story, but it brings across an important point. If you have never fucked up, you'll never know what it feels like to have everything turned upside down. You'll never know what you truly want. You won't have that urgency, drive, or motivation to do what needs to be done. If you've never gotten yourself burned even once before, you would be that one guy out of the entire crowd that feels okay sitting under a boiling pot of oil. By experiencing and knowing what it feels like to screw up, you'll try your best to not screw up the next time. But of course, I'm not telling everyone to go and touch a boiling kettle right now if you've yet to feel what it's like to get burned, or start engaging in debauchery and turning your life upside down. But if you're smart enough to take things more seriously and plan properly in whatever your goals are and not be complacent, you'll be that lucky few that will never experience what it feels like to make that huge mistake that's turned everyone else's life for the worse. It really comes down to how we frame our mindset and how we look at things, and you'll be surprised how you'll end up being the last one standing if you do it right.